All right, welcome everyone.
Hi, thank you for joining us today.
Super excited. There's a lot of new names, a lot of recognized names. We're just going to give it a few seconds here and we will get started. All right. Great little crowd. It's kind of topped off now, so I will get us going. Welcome everyone. Tawnee Sons from Create Your Cruise here. Very excited to have a new guest joining us. She is a colleague of ours doing some very magical things with land vacations, and we are partnering up with her as a new part of our Create Your Cruise team to offer some new experiences. Because as you all know, we love our cruises, but there's so much of the world that you can see by land, and we want to have some new experiences and things to offer you. So really excited to welcome you here, Sherry, to introduce you to everyone and to share these magical journeys you're going to be hosting.
Great, thank you so much. I'm excited to share my experiences with the trips that I have planned for Kenya and Iceland here. If everybody notices the picture behind me, that is actually a picture I took back in 2019 when I was on safari. That I really did capture all those elephants at the watering hole. So that's something that you may have the opportunity to grab when we're on safari. If we are ready to go, Tawny.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, so a little bit about me. I have been an agent for over 32 years. I've been doing this since 1992. So long time, and lived all over the world, traveled all over the world.
Seen the evolution of travel.
Oh yes, yes, lots of changes from the early 90s till now. So yeah, definitely technology has come a long way, which is a good thing. So.
Yes, you have such a unique experience. So you've been in the industry for over 32 years. You've been an agent
Yes.
for that long, and you've been traveling your whole life. How did you get into escorted group travel? And tell our audience a little bit about what that is and how you
Sure.
have
Yeah.
evolved your business.
Yep. So I've been doing escorted groups now for probably 20 some years, in different shapes and forms. And if you're not sure what an escorted trip is, it's where we customize a package, and it could be buses or trains or a combination of buses and trains that gets you from destination to destination within the tour package. Uh, we always have a tour guide with you. But all of these tours that I have set up, I personally also escort the tour. So when we get to the destination, we have a tour director that is our guide for the whole time that explains everything. But I am there personally to handle any of your needs while we're actually on the tour. So.
So it's great, like unique way to travel where one, you're in a group that you're comfortable with. You get to meet new people who are also traveling in a similar way to you. You spend the entire tour with that group, so it's kind of a more intimate experience. And at the same time, you have the built-in travel concierge as
Correct.
well as the local destination guide. So you're really getting kind of the most evolved package you could as far as teaching about the destination, making sure the experience is so smooth and flawless, and making sure everything runs perfectly for the whole group.
That's correct. Yep, absolutely. Yes. Yep.
So Sherry has two trips coming up. She's going to give us a little information and background, some overview, along with pricing and inclusions on both of these trips. So let's go ahead and dig into that, Sherry, and let's start
Okay.
with your big
All right.
Kenya trip.
So the first trip that we're going to talk about is called Magical Kenya. This is a trip that goes May 24th to June 4th of 2027. And this is an 11-day trip. So
Can
if you
you
look
tell us
over on
before
the,
you get into it a little, why
yeah.
Kenya? Like why you chose specifically Kenya
So
in
yeah,
Africa?
so Kenya, and they have some wildlife orphanages in Kenya, but you also have the Serengeti and the Masai Maras. So that is if you've ever seen the nature shows on Nat Geo with the Great Migration and the big herds of zebras and wildebeest and that kind of thing, this is where you're going to find them is in Kenya. There are also some animals. There are 5 species of animals that are only can be found in Kenya. You cannot find them anywhere else on the continent of Africa, only in Kenya. So it's very exciting to go and see these animals that you can't see anyplace else in the world.
Keep telling us about it.
Okay, so so this is an 11-day trip. We're actually going to start in Nairobi, and then from there we're going to go out to a place called Old Pijeta, and then from there we go to Mount Kenya, and then Samburu, and then of course to the Masai Mara. Each of these includes everything that you need. Meals, your inter-Africa, inter-Kenya airfare is already included in the pricing, as well as all of your sightseeing and safari once we actually get to the safari portion.
There's a great slide at the end too that's going to kind of go over our inclusions and exclusions. So hang tight for the whole thing.
So day one, I call this our travel day. So this is the day that you actually arrive into Nairobi. We have nothing planned that day. This is your downtime to get used to the time change. It is about 8 to 10 hour time change, depending on where you are flying from. If you're starting in the US. And so that night, we do have dinner included at the hotel for you, but it's the rest of the day. I mean, it's on your own until dinner time. And in the past, I've had some guests that chose not to do dinner because they just wanted to sleep, and that is totally okay too. Day two is another day of leisure, so that you can explore the local markets. There's some great craft markets that are done by the local folks. So all handmade items and just absolutely amazing. So D3, this is when we actually are starting our touring. This is where we're going to be going to the orphanages. So the first one is the Sheldrick Wildlife Trust. This is where they have the orphan elephants and rhinos. These are the babies that, for whatever reason, their moms were either killed by poachers, or maybe a lion or other wildlife killed the mother, and so they found these babies. They go out, they bring them into the wildlife trust. They will provide them any medical care that they need. They will make sure that they get everything they need to grow up and hopefully be re-released back into the wild. So the goal is to get them re-released and not keep them at the orphanage for the rest of their lives, unless they have a physical disability that does not allow them to be re-released. One of the wonderful things that we have the opportunity to do at the Sheldrick Wildlife Trust is we have an exclusive day just for us. So for my group, I've arranged that you will have the opportunity to bottle feed the baby elephants, as well as the baby rhinos and everything. And then after we're done at the Sheldrick Wildlife Trust, we're going to go to the Giraffe Center. The Giraffe Center is where you can only find one of the types of giraffes that I was mentioning. That is there's the unique animals to Kenya. The Rothschild giraffe is unique to Kenya. So everybody thinks that there's just one type of giraffe. There's actually several different species of giraffes, and the Rothschild is one of the ones that is critically endangered. So we're going to have the opportunity to go there. You'll have the opportunity to feed them as well. And then after that, we're going to go to the Karen Blixen restaurant, Coffee Garden restaurant. If you are familiar with the book Out of Africa, Karen Blixen is the one that wrote Out of Africa. So we're going to go to her plantation farm coffee. She was a coffee farmer, and we're going to go there and experience what she would have been experiencing back then. Everything is the same as it was when she was there. And then you'll also have the opportunity to meet some of the local women and look at some of the crafts that they have done And of course, talk to them about their lives and that kind of thing. So,
What an
all
amazing
right.
day. And you said this is an
That,
exclusive experience. So when
yeah,
you're in these centers, you're not going to be moving through tour groups with other people. It's going to be just for you and your group, right?
that's correct. Yes, that's
So
correct.
that's
Yeah.
having been through some of the animal orphanages and things, that it's such a better experience to go that way. When there's fewer people, there's nothing overwhelming anyone. The animals are completely relaxed. You get to spend a little bit more time and enjoy the experience with them. So that is really a huge plus to doing these escorted groups and small groups, is having those
Mhm.
exclusive experiences.
Correct, correct. Okay. The next day, so day 4, we are now actually going to leave Nairobi and we are heading up to Olpejeta. So we are going to a lot of people don't realize that there are coffee and pineapple plantations. So we're going to be passing those as we are heading up to our tented camp for the night. And this up here is home to the black rhinos. So Old Pajeta is home to black rhinos. And of course, you have the other main wildlife as well. So elephants, cheetahs, lions. But now we also have the opportunity to see some of the other animals that are exclusive to Kenya, such as there's a special type of zebra called the Grevy's zebra. There's an oryx and a hartebeest. So these are all very rare animals that can only be found in Kenya. So you're going to have the opportunity, as long as they cooperate with us, to see them. Because of course they are wildlife, so we can't guarantee that you'll see them, but we're going to do our darndest to try and find them for you. So um, and then this is one of the locations, if you've ever seen safaris, you always see people going out during the daytime. So they're called game drives, they're during the day. This is an exclusive experience where we are going to go on what's called a nighttime game drive. This is a unique opportunity that I've arranged for the group. They don't do these very often, and this is the opportunity to see everybody that is a nocturnal animal. So your leopards and your cheetahs and the lions, believe it or not, lions are considered nocturnal. They like to sleep during the day and they hunt at night. So you're going to have the chance to see all the big cats, hopefully, as well as some other animals such as the anteaters. And there are some other small, like fox type animals. They only come out at night. So this is a great opportunity to try and see them. So. Okay.
It's going to be
And then
amazing.
after that day and evening, we are there still. So we're at this camp for 2 nights. And this we're going to do 2 game drives. So we'll do a morning game drive and then an afternoon/evening game drive. So you get 2 game drives per day that we are on safari, except for the first day that we get there at Opajeta. That's just the nighttime game drive. So, all right.
So there's 3 game drives at Sweetwater's.
Correct. And Old Pagetta, correct. Yep.
Mhm.
All right. So now, after our morning game drive on day 6 and after breakfast, we're now going to hop in our transportation again, and now we're going to be heading to Mount Kenya. Um, we're going to, of course, do some stops along the way. But when we get to Mount Kenya, we're going to arrive there in time for lunch, and then you have that afternoon at leisure just to enjoy the camp that we're going to be at. Um, Day 7, we are now going to continue on. So we're only in Mount Kenya for one night. It's more like a stopping point because now we're on our way to Samburu. Samburu is another reserve. They call them game reserves. And so now we're going back out again to look for the animals that are only found in Kenya. So you've got another type of giraffe called a reticulated giraffe. So again, this is another type of giraffe. You've got the zebra, the Grevy zebra again, and we've got the oryx, a Somali ostrich. So even though it has Somali in the name, it's not from Somalia. It's really a Kenyan ostrich. Why it's called Somali, nobody knows, but it is. But it's actually only found in Kenya. Okay. And so again, we're going to be doing these game drives at the Samburu National Reserve. Now,
Now,
this
what
is
is,
one of the camps that I'm excited about, Tawny.
I was just about to ask you that because I was going to say, what is an elephant bedroom camp? Because that sounds
Yes, so
interesting.
elephant bedroom camp. So if you see the picture there, that is what our camps look like. This is a sample of one of the camps. And elephant bedroom literally means that as you're laying in bed, you could see shadows outside, which are the herds of elephants walking by and everything. So that's why it's called elephant bedroom, because the elephants are right there.
And it has hardwood floors. Like, I think that's to me always something that is so stunning about these beautiful camps because you go, a lot of people don't know what these destinations are like as far as accommodations, but these are beautiful luxury glamping experiences.
Hmm.
It's like a tent and a house combined with hardwood
Yes.
floors and great structure and then also that outdoor element looks very cool. So I can't wait for you guys to
Yes.
experience this.
Yes. So all of the lodging, there is no shared showers or anything like that. Everybody has their own private bathroom showers in their tent camp, so that you don't have to worry about sharing. Some of the camps that we will be at also have outdoor showers as well. So if you want to do an outdoor shower, you could actually do that as well. So, all right.
Amazing.
Okay, so again, we're still at Sambora for day 8, and again, we're going to do morning and afternoon game drives at Sambora. When we're not on game drive, that's your leisure time, so you can just kind of hang out at the main lodge. There is spa available. There's pools, that kind of thing. It's your relaxation downtime for whatever you would like to do. And then, of course, on day 9, now we're leaving Sambora and now we're heading to the Masai Mara. So to get to the Masai Mara, we're actually going to take a local plane down to the Masai Mara Reserve. And this is where we're going to see those large herds of animals, the wildebeest, the zebras, and that kind of thing. So this is to me, I think the exciting part because this is where the migration of the big herds is happening. Okay.
Amazing. And just we had a question in the Q&A and it's a good time to ask it here.
Sure.
They wanted to know what flights were included. So you're talking about the
Yes. So all of
inter-African
your
flights.
intra-Africa flights are included. So any flights, any transportation in Kenya is included in your package pricing. International flights are not included in the pricing because we don't know where folks were going to be coming from. So it was a little difficult to include that, but I can definitely help arrange that for you with no issues. So, okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the Masai Mara. And again, we're going to be doing morning and evening game drives there.
I love the
And we're,
tempo of that too, how you set that up because it's like you flow with kind of the animals, right? Like when they're active,
hmm
you're active with them. And then when they're kind of sleeping, as you said,
hmm
a lot of them nap during the day, you're enjoying your time at these beautiful places with, pools and spas and all the amenities before you go back out. So that's a great flow to an African safari.
It is. And believe it or not, it is, you don't think you're going to be tired, but it's all that adrenaline when you get in the Jeeps and there, you have your driver and you have your tracker that are with you. And it's just like everybody's got all that adrenaline going and you're excited to be looking and everybody's like searching. And, when you get back, it's like the adrenaline rush wears off and you're like, oh, I need a nap now, kind of thing. So yeah, it is very exciting. Okay, so day 10, we're still at the Masai Mara. Now, this is one of these optional things that's not included in your pricing. And if you're not afraid of heights, I highly recommend doing this. You have the opportunity to do a hot air balloon safari over the Masai Mara. Absolutely amazing experience. And for those folks that do not want to do the hot air balloon ride, you will actually, with your driver, follow the hot air balloons as they're going because once those balloons land, everybody's going to have breakfast out on the Masai Mara. So just another unique experience for that is arranged for the group. So for those that want to do the hot air balloon and for those that don't, you're all still going to get the same experience for the breakfast on the Masai Mara. So
It's going to be incredible.
Yeah. Okay. Now, we are going to be still in the Masai Mara for another day because the Masai Mara is such a huge area. So, I mean, we're barely going to scratch the surface of the Masai Mara. So each day they'll take you in a different direction. So that's why we're there for several days because there's just so many different areas and and to track the animals and to give you the most opportunity to see as many animals as possible. We've really focused on this area to do that for you. And then on our last day, we're going to head back from the Masai Mara back up to Nairobi. Most of the flights from Nairobi back to the US depart in the evenings and like late at night. So like 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. So I've arranged for what we call day rooms for everybody. So when we get back to Nairobi, you can relax at the Crown Plaza at the airport and just kind of, hang out or, just, take a nap before your long flight, whatever you would like to do. And then once it's time to go and get checked in for the flights back home, we will have a guide take us back to the airport and get everybody checked back in for their return home flights.
Perfect. It's a nice touch to have that day room at the end because it's just like you can eat something and brush your teeth and take a shower and get on the plane
Mhm.
feeling a little bit more refreshed, which is always nice.
Yes, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that wraps up the magical adventure.
Yes. And so these are just
Nice.
some highlights of some of the different places that we will be staying at throughout the journey of the trip.
Beautiful camps, beautiful places, so many amazing opportunities. So let's talk about the pricing a little bit and go into from here. I guess we'll go to the next slide, which is inclusions and exclusions.
Sure.
But we are
Yeah.
talking about an incredible price of 11,699 per person. That's for two people sharing a room, so that's your double occupancy price. Now, if you are a single and you do not wish to share, there is an additional 2,149 per person, or not, well, single. So per person for the one person, single supplement
Correct.
for that for the land only. So incredible price for all these inclusions. How many people are going to be in your group?
So the max number that's going to be on the group is 24. That's the max. So very
So
small,
very
intimate group.
small.
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes for such an incredible experience when you're going to places like this where you don't want like the bigger the crowd, the less likely you are to see animals and to things happening in nature. So 24 people max, which means small game drives as well, because how many people go out per game drive?
So everybody gets to go out on the game drive if they want to. There's 6 people per vehicle. So there'd be 4 vehicles with 6 people each per vehicle.
So amazing. Just enough to keep it tight and very close to the nature.
Hmm.
Let's talk about the inclusions and the exclusions.
Sure. Okay, so this is what's included versus what's not included on your safari. So again, I mentioned the intra-Africa flights are included. All of your transfers for the entire time that we're on the trip are included once you get to Kenya. Okay. Of course, all of your porterage is included. So both at the airport as well as at all the lodges and hotels that we will be staying at. So you don't need to worry about schlepping your bags once you get to Kenya. It's already included for you. Of course, all of the accommodations, as mentioned in the itinerary, meals. So once we get on safari, breakfast, lunch, and dinner are included daily. Now, when we're like in Nairobi, it could be like a breakfast and a lunch included or a breakfast and a dinner included, but all of that information is on the day-to-day itinerary. So B stands for breakfast, L stands for lunch, D stands for dinner. Of course, all of your park fees are included, and as well as any of like the like if like the Karen Blixen charges like a fee to get in, that would be included. We will always have an English speaking guide and driver with us. So they are already included. And then Water is always provided on everything that we're doing. So you do not have to worry about, oh my gosh, I need to buy a bottle of water. No, that's already been included for you. And of course, as mentioned, any of the excursions and game drives as listed in the itinerary. Okay, so what's not included? So not included is going to be your international airfare, transfers from your home to your local airport, any items of personal nature. Of course, that optional balloon ride is not included. And then gratuities and tips for the staff and uh, drivers. Uh, and the game rangers. So game rangers, that's going to be your driver and the tracker. Those gratuities are not included because we don't know who is assigned to us. And that, for me, I think is a personal item in terms of how much did you value their service and everything. So it's did they go out of their way to help you and, that kind of thing determines, I think, what folks want to extend their gratuity for. Meals and drinks not mentioned on the itinerary would not be included, of course. And
We'll be
then,
sending this out tomorrow as well, so we'll have an inclusion list that shows the meals and everything like
mhm,
that. So
yeah,
if you don't know right now, don't worry, we will make sure you have the information.
yeah. And then, of course, if you need to get a passport are not included, and any visas that might be needed are not included in the pricing. Now, for safari, travel insurance is mandatory for all guests. Just because of the remoteness of where we are going, it is mandatory, and the tour company does require a minimum amount to be met. And of course, I can go over all that information with you because pricing is not a one size fits all. If you've ever purchased travel insurance before, you know that there is a scale on how it is calculated. So that is something that we would have to look at with you.
Absolutely. So we, at the end of the presentation, we're going to go through our next destination here in just a moment. But we'll go through some Q&As and go through anything like
Sure.
that. And if you're unsure of any of those things, you can ask those questions then. But if you're interested in joining this safari and want to do this trip escorted with someone who knows the area, knows the region, which is a big reason why people love to do these escorted trips, just having someone there you can trust so that you can just relax and enjoy the experience, then you're going to call us and we're going to walk you through all the things you need and all the things that you still need to get that are outside of this package. Let's shift gears before we go into Q&As and talk about the literal other side of the world and move
Okay.
into the Iceland trip here. So something very special happening in Iceland this year for those of you who may or may not know. The solar eclipse will be there and it will be the one of the most rarest phenomenons there. So if the destination wasn't enough to make you want to go, you can now go with Sherry during the solar eclipse. And this is a really exciting thing because um, one, there's not a lot of opportunities anymore, right? Everybody has booked this. So there's not a lot of space left in Iceland anywhere. Taking a look at just the other day for a client who's interested in going, and everything is very expensive and sold out. So this is a unique opportunity to not only go and experience the solar eclipse, but to really explore all the amazing things Iceland has to offer too. So Sherry, tell us about this trip we put together.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this. So we're going to be there for the total solar eclipse, weather permitting, of course. This is a 10-day trip. And we are going to be doing all the way around the island of Iceland. So if you've ever looked at doing a trip to Iceland, most tour companies just do the bottom part of the island. And those are usually only like 7-day trips. But we're going to completely circumnavigate the entire island and then end back up in Reykjavik for the total solar eclipse. So I'm really excited about that. All right. So again, you're going to depart from your home city in the US, and it is an overnight flight into Reykjavik. And then upon arrival, transportation has been provided from the airport to the hotel that we're going to be using. You drop your bags off, and then that afternoon, like around 2 o'clock, we're going to do a city tour of Reykjavik. And then, of course, we'll go back to the hotel after the city tour. You'll have some downtime, and then that evening officially kicks off the tour. And if you haven't already met everybody in the group, we'll go around and introduce everybody and get to know our tour guide even better. Our tour guide will be with us the entire time. So it's a great opportunity to really talk to them and kind of pick their brain on some of their favorite things that they like to do. They can always make good recommendations for restaurants as well for any of the nights where dinner may not be included. All right. So next day we are going to be heading out from Reykjavik by a charter bus to a town called Borgans. This is, Iceland is known as the land of fire and ice. So, fire because of the volcanoes, ice because of the ice and everything. So you're going to have opportunities as we're driving to see these different things. And there, because of the thermal energy there, lots and lots of hot springs. So we're going to have the opportunity to visit several hot springs along the way, and you can actually get into the water. And I will tell you, it is amazing. I've been to Iceland a couple times now, and every time I've gotten in the hot springs, my joints always felt so much better.
There's
Just be
something
just
magical about it. Your skin, your like
yeah,
even getting in your hair.
yes.
It feels so good.
It does. It really does. And Iceland's known for waterfalls. So lots of waterfalls. We were passing past those, and then we're going to be heading, for the evening. We'll be stopping in Borgans. All right. So this is along the way, day 4. Iceland has these horses that can only be found in Iceland, and the horses have an extra toe on their hooves so that they can help maneuver on the ice and everything. So you will only find these horses in Iceland. So it's kind of a fun experience to go out and see these horses and interact with them.
That's so
All
cool.
right. Now, do we have any Game of Thrones fans? Hopefully,
Me.
maybe. So, so Iceland was where they filmed all of the winter scenes in Game of Thrones. So when they were, beyond the wall and that kind of thing. So you may start to recognize as some of the things that we're going to be seeing as
Oh
like, oh
yeah.
my gosh, that was in the TV show and everything. So these big waterfalls here as well as some of the rock formations were used in the filming. All right. So
Such incredible landscape around like Iceland in general as you're driving through it and you get to these amazing destinations and then there's these cute towns. Everything in Iceland is so picturesque.
yes, absolutely. Yeah. So this is what we call Diamond Circle, where these waterfalls are located at. And then they also have different rocks and caves and pillars that were all formed by the lava flows. So nothing's ever going to look the same because the landscape here is constantly changing. So if you were to go back, say, in 10 or 15 years, the landscape's going to look totally different because of the lava flows and everything. All right. The Iceland is also known as the whale watching capital. So we do have the opportunity to see different whales and everything just because of where Iceland is located at. So always be on the lookout as we're driving, and we're looking out to the water and everything. You may have the opportunity to spot some whales. All right. So now we're heading up. We're probably now at the top part of Iceland. So we've come from the bottom and now we're coming up and around the top. So as you can see, it looks like a gorge has been carved out here. And of course, more waterfalls and more natural springs and the geothermal springs we'll be able to experience today. On day 6.
So in this trip, you've
Oh.
already done ice, fire, waterfalls, gorges, whales.
Hmm. Yep, yep.
It's incredible.
So now day 7, we're going to go to a place called Petra Stone Museum, and it's a collection of stones and minerals that are found in Iceland. So if you look at that picture, it's pretty amazing that there's all these different types of rocks that are found in Iceland. Um, and then after we're done there and we've learned a little bit about the different rocks and minerals that are found in Iceland, we're going to go to a Viking village. The Vikings did not live there. It was actually a movie set that was built, but never used. So they've left it there so that we can see what a Viking village may have looked like back in the day. And to experience what the Vikings would have been experiencing when they came to Iceland. All right. So day 8, now we're coming into a glacier lagoon, which kind of sounds, like,
Cold.
wow, glaciers and lagoon. And, when I think of lagoons, I think of warm waters, right? Well, this one, it's not warm water. This is cold water, but it's because it's a glacier lagoon. Um, So this is where the famous Diamond Beach is. Diamond Beach is black sand. So different parts of the world. If you've been to Bermuda, you've got the pink sand. Here it is black sand, and it is. I mean, it has a different feel to it. It's not like fine sand. It's very coarse because of
Mhm.
it's volcanic rock that has been broken down over time. So that's what it is. Um, After that, we're going to go to the Foss Hotel Glacier Lagoon. Again, this is one of the lagoons that was used in Game of Thrones. And then after that, we're going to go to a waterfall that was used in Game of Thrones. It's called Skafetel. And so that when you see it, you'll be like, oh my gosh, yes, I remember this from the show. Okay.
Cool little like movie set tours.
Yep. So if you can see the top picture, that's what the black sand looks like. So we'll see that in quite a few different places throughout. And if you look down below, that is one of the waterfalls that was used in Game of Thrones. Okay. Um, so these waterfalls, because of the amount of water that is going over them, the rainbows are very vibrant and everything. And usually it's not a single rainbow. Sometimes, well, I would say most of the time there's double rainbows, and sometimes if we're lucky, we can get a triple rainbow, which is quite unique to see that.
But that
Okay.
makes an amazing photo.
Absolutely. And then after we're done at the waterfall, we're going to head over to a horse farm where they're going to do a demonstration with the Icelandic horses. So these horses are all descendants from the horses that came over with the Vikings. So all of these horses can trace their roots all the way back to the Vikings. Okay. Now, day 10. So we're almost done with our trip. So this is really our last day. We are going to go to the Blue Lagoon, which again, it's a geothermal lagoon, which is heated up by the volcanoes. So you can actually get in the water and have the unique properties of the Blue Lagoon. And then after we're done there, we're going to head out on a cruise. Iceland is known for puffins. This is where the puffins go, and they are nesting in the summertime and they have their babies. And then, of course, in winter months they leave and they're going to different destinations. But if you like puffins, this is amazing, amazing to see them. I think they're amazing little birds. And then after we're done doing the puffin watching, we're going to head back to the hotel because that afternoon is the solar eclipse. So it will pass right over Reykjavik. And as long as it's not cloudy, we will see the solar eclipse. So, and it's a total solar eclipse, not a partial, a total. And
It's gonna be
then,
amazing. You're gonna Blue Lagoon, you're gonna puffins, and then
yep,
you're gonna have this incredible
solar eclipse.
phenomenon of the solar eclipse.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And then the next day, we will all depart back to our homes. So,
That's an amazing tour. Guys, if you have not been to Iceland, you have to go do this tour. It's so incredible to see all these amazing places, but then all the energy and the excitement and the experience of that solar eclipse is really going to add to that whole experience, like a crown jewel of a vacation.
yeah, I think that's like the creme de la creme right there, right? So,
Totally, absolutely.
yep.
So let's move into some more of the pricing again. We'll talk about
Yeah,
the pricing and the pricing structure, and then we'll
yeah.
go into inclusions and exclusions before we talk about questions and
Okay.
answers.
So these are all the different hotels that we will be using and how many nights we will be at each hotel. Pricing is 7,500 per person. Now that is based on double occupancy. Um, I currently do not have any single rooms available, but if somebody is interested traveling solo, please reach out to us because I might be able to get another solo room. I have to send the request and see if I can still get it.
Perfect. And the way kind of these work is everything is purchased for the group. So whether you get 30 people or you fill the 40-person group, you're still going to travel. So when you book this, it might be 7,500, but if another 10 people join, your price is actually going to be reduced a little bit. So when it said that a little bit about how the price could go down as more people book, that is how that works when you're doing kind of private escorted groups in certain places. Works a little different in Kenya, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sherry. But for here, this is how it works, where the more people come, the better price
Correct.
everyone gets.
That's correct. So yes, so the max number of people that we can take on this trip is 48, I think is my max. So our starting price point is 7,500, but if I get 30 people to go, the price goes down to like 7,200. And then if we get, another 10 people to go, it drops down to like 6,900. So the more people that go, the less expensive it becomes for everybody on the trip. So,
And you have filled a good portion of it so far. So,
yes.
everyone watching this, if you're interested in booking, you should join. The prices could go down. So let's just say if you're booking it right now, you know you're going to pay 7,500. In a month, you might get a lovely surprise that your price has been reduced. But for now, you can
Yes.
plan on that. You can plan on these inclusions and these exclusions or extra costs.
That's correct. Yep, absolutely. So again, inclusions, all of your arrival and departure transfers once you get to Iceland are included. All of your airport and hotel porterage has been included. Accommodations as listed in the itinerary, meals as listed in the itinerary. Of course, all of your entrance fees to all of the different locations that we will be going to, as well as like admission into like Blue Lagoon and that kind of thing. And the tour company that I'm using, they actually provide what's called flight bags. So like a backpack, a ticket wallet, luggage tags, and a luggage strap for your suitcase. And then, of course, all of the touring, like the puffin viewing and that kind of thing, would be what they call an excursion. So, exclusions, again, we don't know where you're coming from in the US, so cannot include international airfare. So that would be additional. All of your personal nature items, such as phone calls or, if you need to do laundry or anything like that. Gratuities as not outlined in the tour. So with Kenya, I was able to prepay all of the gratuities except for the park rangers and the guides. Here, gratuities, unfortunately, they do not allow us to package that up into the tour cost. So gratuities would be additional, but I do have guidelines that I can recommend so that you can set those monies aside so there's no surprises. And then, of course, any meals as not listed on the itinerary. And then, of course, if you need to obtain a passport or a visa or anything like that. Travel insurance is highly recommended for this trip, but not mandatory like it is for Kenya.
Still highly, highly recommended, maybe even more than other places, just because again, you're in a remote place on an island, so it's
Hmm.
good to have.
Yep,
Um,
absolutely.
Couple of questions, but before we do that, let's talk about you're kind of approaching some deadlines for booking. So want to give everybody the deadlines for you
Sure.
for when they need to sign up for these trips.
So for Iceland, my deadline to take any more reservations is going to be January 31st is going to be the last day to sign up.
And remember,
Unfortunately,
this trip goes in August of this year, guys, so we have a shorter
correct.
timeline to work with here.
Yes, correct. And so all of the hotels are like, if you haven't sold your spot, we need it because we're going to sell it. So if you are
I
interested in
was
going,
looking
please reach out.
$1,200 a night to rent a studio bedroom from a person who lives there in Iceland for the
Yes,
solar eclipse. So you're talking
yes.
about actually excellent prices. 7,500 for 11 days, including your hotels, is an incredibly good price.
And meals. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yep. So now for a safari, the window for that is a little bit longer in terms of when we need to sign up. But again, because it's a smaller number of people that can go on that trip, if you're interested, don't wait too long to sign up because right now I am a third of the way sold out already on my safari. So if you're interested, don't wait, sign up. So
So I'm going to have in just a couple slides here information on how you should contact us to sign up. But yes, so Iceland, especially if you want to do that one, there's a stricter timeline. You must have your space held by January 31st. But even for Kenya, you want to not wait. Don't give yourself a month or something to think about it because if you do, that spot could be gone and then you might be waiting a year, 2 years to wait for another one.
mhm.
So let's hop into some Q&As here. We're going to start with the Iceland question, and then we're going to pop back into some of the Africa questions.
Okay.
For Iceland, one of our guests wanted to know, is there any chance of seeing the Northern Lights around this time of year?
Not usually. Northern lights are typically the best time to see them is going to be October to April. It's not that it's out of the question, but it's, the because we're so far north, it's the daylight is pretty much all the time. So,
Your days are really long there. Now, I will say we were there in like late August, and one night a couple people were able to see some flashes of them. So again, not impossible, but not probable. If that's the most important thing to you, you're going to want to go at a different time.
yeah.
We have a couple questions that go back to Africa that want to know about any kind of required or recommended vaccinations.
Okay, so vaccination wise, I do recommend talking to your physician. However, I highly recommend the hepatitis A and B vaccines. If you don't already have them, definitely get those. Kenya is not known for malaria like some of the other countries, so taking malaria pills may not be necessary unless your family doctor recommends that you do. Always want to double check with your family doctor. Another good website, and I follow this website all the time for when I'm doing my travels to Africa to make sure that there's nothing new that I need. It's just cdc.gov, and you can go there to their travel section to put in the country that you're traveling to, and it will list everything on there what they say you should have versus what they think is optional. Because they're always going to put on their flu vaccine optional. But some of these other vaccines they recommend, like you want to be current on your tetanus booster. Hep A, Hep B, I recommend getting that. So it will list on there what they think you should have.
Um, we have one more question about Africa and then a question about Iceland.
Okay.
For Africa, they were talking about the timing, and actually, you and I had discussed this a little bit too. So there's the Great Migration, which happens a certain time of the year, and then there are other times that you can see wildlife crossing. So can you tell everyone just a little bit about the timing of your trip and what they can kind of expect, and also when the Great Migration is and how it differs?
Yep. So Great Migration actually happens year round. It's just because the herds are constantly moving around. So I chose this time of year because the different like zebras and the wildebeest and that kind of thing, they are the big herds are supposed to be in the Masai Mara. It's also not that hot because it can get very, very hot in Kenya because you're right near the equator. So we're trying to minimize how hot it's going to be for everyone. And also, it's a good opportunity to see the babies. So most of the animals have their young December, January, and February. And so by May, they're the cute little cub, like, they're not the baby babies, but I call it they're at their fun stage and everything. So it is a good time to be there.
Oh, that's actually really cool. We did a trip in the Galapagos and we went at that time too. It's kind of like an not an off season, but it's not that main season. But because
Right.
it's not, you do get to see that different stage of life, which was so cute. The
Mm-hmm.
little toddler babies, they're so
Yes.
cute.
Yes.
Um, One other note for everybody is that our prices are in US dollar, but if you are Canadian, because I know we have not a lot of customers from Canada, you can join this for sure. You would just pay in US dollars instead of Canadian dollars.
Correct. Correct.
Um, and we have one guest who is really interested in joining you in Iceland. They are single. I'm gonna have them contact us, but it is a good question that they wanted to ask is what kind of was the approximate single price if you could get more space as a single?
Um, yes. So off the top of my head, I want to say it was a supplement of 2,500. Don't quote me on that. That's what's running in my mind at the moment. But if you reach out to the team, they will, get in touch with me, and then I can reach out and make sure I can get that extra spot, and then we can get you the full pricing.
Yeah, so Dale, go ahead and send me an email at that email that I suggested, and we'll confirm it and confirm that price and email to you. We'll make it real easy on you. I'm not gonna send you a lot of spam or anything. We'll just make sure you get what you need.
Hmm.
Perfect. Do we have any other questions? Feel free to raise your hand or pop them into the Q&A box. And of course, as you can see, please email us your requests to book these trips. Again, you only have until January 31st to join that amazing solar eclipse trip through Iceland. You have a little bit more time for Kenya, but she's already 33% sold. So we want to make sure you get in there before it sells out because 24 is just not a lot of people to have this incredible experience. So any other questions? We have a chat. Oh, we have a thank you. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you everybody so much for joining us, for taking the time to be with us here this evening. And Sherry, it's so nice to welcome you here and
Thank you.
explore these amazing trips you're doing. We can't wait to show more of them, get some more people on there with you, and help you just make this an incredible experience for everyone joining you.
Great. Thank you, everybody, for joining
Take
us. I really
care.
appreciate it.
Have a great night, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.